Right then, I sold the last chalice I had in stock in the market on Sunday, so I need to make another chalice. Right, as I said, I sold the last chalice I had in stock on Sunday and I need to make another one. I have a nice piece of tiger wood here that's nicely split between sapwood and heartwood. It's about 4x9. First thing, of course, round it off, stick it in a chuck, and then I'll go through, well, in my head anyway, what the difference between a chalice and a goblet is, right? So we'll get on with this, and I'll be back as soon as it's rounded off. So I'll just speed through this bit. Now, okay, we're in the chuck, we're rounded off. Now, as I said, in my head, the difference between a chalice and a goblet, right? A goblet has kind of a long bowl, whereas a chalice has a shorter bowl. That, in my head, is what the difference is, right? It's the length of the bowl. So, we'll square this off and we'll get going, and I'll top my way through it. Now then, as I said, in my head a chalice kind of has a wider bowl. What I'm going to go for, right? And a chalice can be a little bit more ornate. Yeah, maybe a detail goes in there. Right, now I want to get a slight bead into this, or a couple of them maybe, but mainly one just here. Only a slight one. Just take that down. I'll leave myself the bead. Right, and go up to the bead. Right, roll the bead. But I don't want a huge bead, just a very slight one is all I want. Up to the bead. More of a smooth curve into it. So I think I might need to come up to that bead a little closer. I do. Careful here that I don't hit the bead. There we go, and I want it to dip into the bead slightly. Just add an extra depth to it. See the way I've got it slightly dipped in there? It makes the bead pop a little more. Right, I'm going to do the same on this side. It's only a slight thing, but see, I have a little dip there and a little dip there. It's only a very slight thing, but I like the look of that. Right, that's looking good. Now that that's rough turned, I'll hollow it out. Take it off and drill some of it and then hollow the rest. My big 2-incher. Slow the speed way down. That'll do for drilling. It just helps a little bit of speed, because as I keep saying in any video that I'm on where you're selling stuff, speed is the absolute key to doing this, right? The faster you can turn it, the cheaper you can sell it at. The better price you can go at. Now we'll just hollow in there using a small ball gouge. Don't really want to sharpen that last. That feels okay to me. Speed back up. Yet again, you have a choice here: back hollow or front hollow. It is completely and utterly up to yourself which way you do it. I've been doing a bit of both here. Right. I just want to get that rim nice. I want the rim kind of to roll in. Like that. See where it's just rolled in there, so it's not a square rim. Keep following. Check it. The width. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, we're good. Put that in there a little bit. Check and clear. Now, one of the questions I get asked a bit is, why do I shape the outside of the cup and then hollow? And not do down here, right? If I do here, right, here is still very solid. It's going to hold this solid, right? Shape the outside of the cup and then just treat it like a bowl, follow it, right? It just, it makes it easier. And the one I see an awful lot of new turners making the mistake of is they turn the entire outside and then try and hollow it, but then your stem is way too thin. It won't take the pressure. Yeah, we're good. As with any end grain, I'm going to be coming out of the bottom of this with a negative rake scraper. The small one, where is it? I was using it the other day. There it is. Right, I'm just going to put a bore on this. Take I'm cutting in the middle and not on slightly low. There I am. Roll that edge again. Look at that. Yeah, that feels good. Right. Now I'm going to sand and finish the inside, because remember what I said earlier about if you put a stem on this, the pressure up here is going to bust it. If I sand and finish the inside now, I still have all this solidness here to let me do it. Right, so I'll sand and finish that and I'll be back in a sec. Alright then, just buffing the wax off. It turned out quite nice. It's almost chimera, half and half, colour wise. The flecks of brown in the sapwood are really nice in this piece, so it should end up really nice. That is nice in there. Right then, we get on with turning the rest of this. Now, something that you must do when you're turning one of these is that ball now has to be supported. Right, now you can use a tennis ball. There's loads of ways of doing it. Like, if you want to see loads of ways of doing it, go over and have a look at Mike Walt's channel. That man is the master of goblets. Right, I have this little thing here that slips on top of my live center. Right, it's basically HDPE and it's got a sponge top, and it just slips on there. In it goes and just supports it down at the stem. Takes all the guesswork out of it. Supported at the stem. Don't want to push it too hard, it only needs a light support. Right, and there it is in there. Spin it and it's roughly central, that'll do fine. Right, now we get onto the rest of this. So I'll stick the mask on and I'll be back in a sec. Right then, when I'm doing these, I like to make the stem part a little bit ornate if I can. So I want to give myself an idea so that they're there. Right, so now I'll start taking this down. Now I'm going to start working from the top down. Now the stem on a chalice is slightly thicker than on a goblet. I prefer doing chalices, because to be honest, I like the shape better. I like the squatter, wider bowls. But you've got to be very careful at the bottom, because you've got to remember to keep that short, squat shape. I can't come down that way. I have to go in a sharp turn to get the chalice shape in. I think it's been a long while since I've done a chalice video, but I think that the last time I used the Irish chalice as an example of what a chalice looks like. And I'll do the same here, because it's one of the most famous chalices. And I'll stick a picture up here so you can see what a chalice, what the idea of what a chalice looks like, rather than other than a goblet. I'm starting to have to push a little too hard, so this needs to sharpen. And the thing with chalices, especially Irish style ones, is they have always have an ornate escutcheon right in the middle of the stem. And a swoop in the base. As I said, compared to a goblet, they're much heavier. Still a little bit heavy, so I'm going to come off this side of it. Swoop in nicer. Yeah, that's quite nice. There's a bump just there I don't like. That's better. Yeah, that's much better. Now I'll play around with that when I get the shape in. A little bit better. Yeah, proportions are nice. Now I'm going to play around with that. I'm going to get a detail gouge in there and make this centerpiece a little bit more ornate. So flatten it off a bit first. Right. Get a little loop in there, little cove. Right, there's a nice little cove in there. Right, just soften those a little bit. I don't want sharpness on the chalice anyway. Right, that needs to be neatened up a little bit just there. That's better. Right. Now I need to take this down slightly more to match the other side. And now we get on to the bit that causes discussions, shall we say, the base, right? Now, the chalice bases, right, and basically bases of any cup. There's a few ways of doing them, right? You can have them concave like that one, convex like that one. You can have the base going in, going out, flared. You can bring it down to the bottom. I personally like a heavy looking base. I think it balances the piece, like that piece is balanced now. So when I'm parting this off, I'm going to part it off right there to try and keep that balanced in there, right? One of the things that always comes up when I do these is, can you drink out of it? Okay, You can drink out of any wooden cup, goblet, chalice, right? Once the wood is not toxic, like laburnum, yew, that kind of stuff, you do not make these out of them, right? Same as I wouldn't make a bowl out of laburnum or yew, because okay, the person I sell it to, I will tell them don't put food in it. If they happen to pass that on to somebody else, they mightn't say that, right? And it could end up toxic, right? People have been drinking out of wooden utensils for hundreds of years. How you can screw it up is with your finish. If you put a finish that's toxic on it, you've made the whole thing toxic. Same as with a bowl, only certified food safe, right? If you know for definite it's going to be used to drink out of, then I wouldn't even put a finish on it. I'd burnish the whole thing, right? And I mean proper burnish it, without the use of an oil or anything else, right? Because then you'll heat up the surfaces, you'll seal all the pores, and it'll be perfect, right? Same rules apply as with a bowl. Don't leave it soaking in the sink, yada yada yada. Don't put it in a dishwasher, right? So I will sand this, and I'll be back in a second. Right then, just buffing the wax off. Turned out quite nice. After I do this, I just had a part of that, I'll give you a better look at it, and then I'll explain the difference between a goblet and a chalice. Well, in my head anyway, and the way I was taught. Right. So that looks quite pretty. The markings in that part side of the wood are gorgeous. And then you've just got the tiger striping on that side. I like the way it's gone half and half kind of thing on this. Right then, we'll part this off and I'll give you a better look at it. So I'll do that, I'll be back in a sec. Alright then, and there we have it. Chalice out of tiger wood. As I said, I really like the way it's kind of half and half. That really looks well to it. Right, to answer the question that's in the thumbnail, what's the difference between a chalice and a goblet? Right, the way I was taught it was that chalice, especially an Irish style chalice, right, has a flatter, rounder bowl on it, and it's a much chunkier thing altogether, and it has a raised escutcheon in the middle, right? A goblet is much thinner stem, has a much longer, more tulip shaped bowl on it, and all around it's a much lighter thing. Now, anytime I say that you can drink straight out of a wooden vessel, I always get lots of arguments that you have to seal it, and you have to do this, and you have to do that, and you have to do the other. Okay, right, look up Kuksa. It's a traditional Lapland drinking vessel, and it's made of raw wood, and they're still being made today and still being used today. Now, normally they make them out of beech, but as I said, you can make a drinking vessel out of any wood that is not toxic and has a tight grain. Beech is fine, ash is fine, tiger wood's fine. Basically, a hard wood that is not toxic is fine to make a drinking vessel out of. As I said in the video, if you know it's going to be used for drinking and not for just display like these ones are, although you can drink out of this because the finish that they put on is totally food safe. Right, it's my normal Hampshire Shin. I would just dry burnish it. Right, that's a personal opinion thing. Right, as I said, if you want to see how to really do goblets and stuff, go to Mike Walt's channel. I'll leave a link below to Mike's channel, of course. The man is just a master of goblets, including flying ones. Sorry, Mike, I couldn't resist that one. So if you enjoyed that or got nothing out of it, if you wouldn't mind clicking like on the video, and I'll see you in the next one.